Hey y'all, kind of a shorter video today, or at least I hope it is. Just a quick idea, kind of the history of New York baseball all on one great whiteboard. This took forever to write, obviously, because of all of those former teams. But let's get right into it. So to start with the teams that are active right now, the Yanks and the Mets, obviously. The Yankees are 27-time champions, and they used to be called the New York Highlanders back when they began. The Mets, they're the Mets. No shame or, well, hate against them, but they're the Mets, and they've been the Mets this entire time. My sources for this video are these two, Seamheads and Baseball Reference, so if I am wrong or if I've missed any, they'll be on those two websites. Now to the former teams, the Brooklyn Dodgers and the New York Giants. Obviously the Dodgers were in Brooklyn from 84 to 57. They won a World Series. I'm forgetting one, probably should have wrote that down. And this team had many names. The Bridegrooms, from when they started, they were also called Brooklyn at that point, and they were also called the Grooms for a couple years. Then they were called the Super Bras, which is a funny name. And then they were called the Dodgers next, but they were also called the Robins at the exact same time. So I don't know really how that works. But yeah, this team had two names. And now they kind of exist in Los Angeles. So yeah, interesting franchise. Next are the New York Giants. Now the San Francisco Giants. Nothing much to say here. They were pretty good in New York when they were there. Five-time champ. They were called New York before the Dodgers came to town and decided to adopt a nickname there. So that's pretty cool. These are all the former teams from the Negro Leagues and otherwise just non-existent teams. So Brooklyn started with the Hartfords of Brooklyn, technically, which they were not very long there. Then they went to the Gladiators and the Wards Wanderers in the same year. Two different teams. They both played 100+ games for only 1 year. Then there was a break, and then there was the Tip Tops, and then another break, and then the Royal Giants. Brooklyn Giants, Brooklyn Royal Giants, and New York Giants, as well as New York Giants over here. Just a lot of Giants in New York, I guess. And then they went to the Eagles. They were called the Brooklyn Eagles for a little while, but they were in Newark, as I mentioned down here. Yeah. Then all of New York's NNL teams, the Mutuals, then the Metropolitans, then the Giants, then the Lincoln Giants, and then the Cubans and the Black Yankees, which were New York's two NNL teams, or I think Negro National League and Negro American League teams. NNL in this instance just stands for Negro Leagues, but National League is a thing already, so I wanted to to say it a different way. Yeah, and then denoting this kind of area down here is, I guess, lesser known former teams that didn't play many games. The Gorhams, New York Gorhams, only played about 4 games every year for 5 years. The Black Sox didn't play many games, and the Colored Giants, 1 and 2, didn't play many games in those respective years, 1906 and 1914. And then, of course, there was the baseball that started it all in Brooklyn, the National Association, which started in 1871 and went to 1875 before they switched to the current kind of thing, which started in 1876. Brooklyn had the Atlantics and the, I wrote that kind of weird, I'm forgetting the name, the Echoms or whatever. They had those in 1872, and the Atlantic stayed until the end of the NA in 1875. And to just go back all the way to the entire idea of this video, It is the projected, or I guess possible, 1936 teams in New York baseball. The Yankees, the Dodgers, the Giants, the Eagles, which technically played in New York, Newark that year, so they're right there, the Cubans, the Black Yanks, and the Mets. And I know the Mets is purely hypothetical, because the need for the Mets arose after the Dodgers and the Giants left. But if the Mets were created in 1936, New York would be having a great surplus with 7 MLB teams, 7 just baseball teams in general, I guess. Yeah, this would be insane to think about. And one other thing I'd like to think about is if they all played on the same kind of stadium, how that scheduling would go. What if they all played in the Polo Grounds, the original Yankee Stadium? Polo Grounds would be really fun. I mean, if we could bring back all of these teams, that would be awesome. But yeah, having all 7 of these teams play at the same stadium would be absolutely chaotic. I mean, they'd have to be probably in their own league, like United Shore Professional Baseball League in Michigan, which all 4 of those teams play in Utica at the same Jimmy John's Field. So that would kind of dwindle down the amount of different games that would need to be played and scheduled, because they all play each other, of course. That's easy to schedule when 4 teams play 2 games a day, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, 7 teams in one place would be very interesting. Obviously, events would happen all the time. Probably 4 games a day. Maybe even 5, possible. I don't know how that would work. You'd have to start really, really early and then end really, really late. But yeah, it's just the inside of my head. Really, it's an interesting idea to think about. And I guess just the history of Newark baseball. So thank you.